Welcome to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters, where we guide the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. Join us around the campfire as we share stories of faith, courage, and adventure.
Kirk is he's like the leader of a wonderful group of leaders of this ministry called Cross Trail Outfitters, CTO. They have 34 chapters in different states. They want to grow it to 50 states, and will, I guarantee you, do it under the leadership of Kirk and Jen and these awesome outfitters that are out there. And my name's Jimmy. That's that.
And for those of you who don't know, this is Dr. Jimmy Seitz. Okay, this man travels the world, has traveled the world for many years. I have watched him for many years, not just on your spiritual adventure show and the other things, read his books, gone to his Bible studies. Matter of fact, my Sportsman's Bible that I have used for many, many years, you're in it. You're one of
deer.
Yep. You're one of the devotions in that. Yeah. And I mean, I've had that thing for probably 30, 40 years, or whenever you first came out.
Well, I wasn't born before this, but I mean.
Well, wait a minute. We decided you've got some years on me, but not that many years.
I don't remember when I wrote that. It was after Oklahoma, so it was, I don't know, somewhere in the early 2000s.
Okay.
I guess.
Well, so basically 25 years ago.
Yeah.
We'll say that.
A quarter of a century.
We'll say that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So you're not that old then.
No.
And if you can't tell, those who are listening, it is 11 o'clock at night. This is our last night of our retreat.
Yep.
I've been here since Monday.
You've got to be so tired.
And we are tired. But you know what? I'm tired, but we just came off of an amazing worship time.
Yes, we did.
Amazing message that you brought, going from Decoys to Deception and teaching us, taking us through your book. Mm-hmm. And I know all the outfitters and the volunteers and the families here have loved hearing what God has said through you. And my big thing that I'd love for people to know, we're not here just to plug Jimmy's book, okay? However, I know this is something that it's been kind of a lifelong thing, kind of an end. It's not an end all be all, I know, but it is. You've written other books and you've had fabulous material out there, but this is kind of one of your big things.
It actually started when I was 27. And I was in my master's program, the Master's of Divinity program, and I had done a course on Genesis, and I was beginning to work in some of the original languages, and I was just fascinated by what I was learning in Genesis. Right. And I wrote a book for teenagers, because everything I'd written up to that point was for teens. And so I really wanted teens to have a teen book that wasn't just a topical book, but a textual teen book. Okay. I'd not really seen one, and so I wrote a book on Genesis called Satan Stole the Show. And it did pretty well, actually, and that's what got me started on studying on that trail, taking that lane. And then as I have continued to study throughout my life, it just keeps coming back around. And I remember when I was doing the Amazing Grace Bible Class TV show, when I was pastoring the large church in Tennessee, in Nashville, at Madison, I wanted to do something that would be different than they'd been doing on Amazing Grace Bible Class for 30-something years. And so we went out and did a fly fishing show, and I talked my producer into doing it. And so I caught a trout on a fly rod, showed how to do that, and then said, now let's go back to the camp and I'm going to show you how to clean and cook this trout, and we'll eat it. And I want to talk about how Satan is like a fly fisherman. So we called it Lures of Satan. And it got more response than 30 years of TV shows for Amazing Grace Bible Class as far as letters for a particular episode. And 80% of it was very positive, and 20% was, how dare you use the Lord's money to fish? And I guess they didn't watch the whole thing. But I knew we were onto something, and that theme stuck, and we did a turkey hunt and called it Decoys of Deception. And that's where it all started as far as this title. And it turned into a lesson I did at Wild Game Dinners for 25 plus years.
Sure.
And people would always say, do you have this in a book or is it on a video? And I said, no. And I knew that if I could get this thing out, that it would resonate with a lot of people that are outdoorsmen, especially if I would write it from the outdoorsman angle in the way that I present it at Wild Game Dinners, etc. So that's how it was born.
Because ultimately, every hunter, every fisherman, obviously is trying to deceive the game that we are pursuing, and ultimately that's what the enemy's trying to do.
I mean, you want them to think they're safe, and so that you can kill them or catch them.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's what hunting and fishing is.
Which is what the enemy's trying to do to us.
Exactly.
He's out to kill, steal, and destroy us. and he's after us. And I think, and once he deceives us, what was the other word you used?
Well, desensitization.
Desensitization.
Yeah. He distracts us so he can desensitize us and get us used to sin, get us used to it so we do sin. And then from there, he works division, and he wants to divide us in all of our relationships, but especially the one with God.
Yeah. Exactly.
And he wants to work division in every place that he can, because wherever there's division, then of course there's a lack of unity. And unity has power, whereas division brings weakness.
Yeah, absolutely.
And division destroys, whereas unity empowers. And so he's a destroyer. He's the father of lies and half lies. And so as a result, he's wreaking havoc. And I can officially say on this podcast right now that we are ready to announce there is a 51st state in the United States. Did you know that?
No? Tell me about all this.
The state of chaos.
Oh.
Because that's about where we are right now.
There you go.
You think he's not working his division in our country right now?
You're right. No, I agree.
So we have the 51st state of chaos, and he is the governor of it.
You're absolutely right. And that is, it's sad to say, but I think we don't talk about it enough.
Right.
I think we don't, not that we want to elaborate on the enemy, because we want to focus on Christ, that Christ is in us, his blood, his mercy, his grace. Yeah. However, we don't talk enough about it, and in the process we're getting deceived.
Correct.
Because we're being so desensitized in our daily lives.
Right.
Through our phones, through our environment. And that's something with CTO, we always are sitting, not always, I shouldn't say always, most of the time we're sitting around a campfire with these boys at the end of a summer camp or end of a weekend outing, or even if it's just a day outing, we're going to end it with that, and we're going to take a deep breath. They're not allowed to touch their phones all day or all weekend or all week.
That's awesome.
And then they are experiencing God and understanding, and we tend to be a pretty raw ministry. So we will utilize, for lack of better words, techniques. That's why I love your book, because I think it's going to be so powerful for us to be able to utilize in Cross Trail Outfitters, because of not just the name. I love the name. It's very catchy. I love the camo apple. I love all the stuff that you got. And you're talking about hunting strategies that the enemy, that Satan uses to deceive us. And that connection with that, it's going to resonate not just with kids. It resonates with adults. It resonates with men, women of all ages. And just to acknowledge that, and to be able to understand that the enemy is trying to desensitize us and trying to deceive us. So when you acknowledge it, now that you acknowledge it, what you can do?
That's right.
We can destroy it, and we can crush the head of Satan.
Well, we've got to be aware of it. So I'm trying to raise the awareness. And as a result of that, then if people take action, once they're aware of it and they take action, then you start getting results. And when that happens, Satan is going to dig in. He's going to, I mean, before this book ever came out, 2 weeks before it came out, a group of Satanists and atheists got a hold of one of my main social media sites and took it over. And every few seconds, they would have people posting the most vile things you've ever heard about me and about the book. Well, the book hadn't even come out. They'd not even read it yet. And these people didn't even know me. They'd never met me. And yet they're saying all these terrible things. I mean, where did that come from? I knew exactly where it came from. And a lot of the stuff was so vile, we had to take it off, and eventually Facebook shut it down. And so I knew that we were on to something with this material. If Satan feels like he's got to do something like that with it. Well, so I hope that God blesses it in such a way
that's a good question, a good comment. Is that a good barometer for people to understand what the enemy is? Because I think some people think if the enemy's attacking me, or we ask why God and all those questions, a lot of people don't look at it like I used to use the phrase "bring it on." Bring it on, because if he's after us, then we're a worthy opponent. And he's trying to deceive us. If he's not messing with us, then you're probably not a force that he has to be worried about. Would you say that?
And it's not just, I'm sorry, it's not just him either, because Satan is not omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent like God is. He can't be everywhere at once.
You're right.
He doesn't know all things. And so he's going to have to pick and choose what he does. But at the same time, he is an absolutely incredible leader. And like you, and he has all of these, I'm not going to call them minions because we get the wrong idea. He has a pecking order, a hierarchy of evil beings and demons and watchers, or Gregory, or whatever you want to call it. And just like in the heavenly beings with God, there is a pecking order in heaven. There are many different levels of beings in heaven. It's the same in the demonic realm, in Satan's dark realm. It's like the Star Wars, man. It's like the Empire, versus the rebels. And so he's going to be assigning demons. He's going to be assigning, watchers. He's going to be assigning whatever, depending on what he thinks, people are doing or what they have the capability of doing. Yeah. So if you're under severe attack, then there's been something or someone assigned to you, most likely from the evil one, if it's not him himself. Wow. Yeah.
And almost can be a badge of honor or something, to where if he's after you.
Yeah, it could be.
Do
doesn't make it fun though when you start getting death threats. I had a death threat the other day from this same group, and we had to turn that one in. It was a serious one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, obviously, we all need to be praying for you, but it's a big deal.
I'll take it.
Praying for you anyway. If you're going to tell me you're getting death threats,
well, it wouldn't be the first time.
I have to say that's a serious threat to from the enemy when it comes to that. Do you see, not just since the book got out, but just what I love about what you tend to be is your boldness. Your boldness to share Christ, your boldness to speak what the Holy Spirit tells you to do, to write, and to declare that. A lot of people don't want to talk about. You were talking about demonic beings and demons, and there's a lot of people that don't want to think about that or believe in that even. Yeah. But you can't believe in Christ and who He is without believing that. I don't believe.
Christ dealt with demons.
Yeah, absolutely, and He dealt with them severely.
They knew who He was.
Yeah, I knew exactly who He is.
They knew He was more powerful.
Have you dealt with that in the Christian community? I'm just kind of curious.
The United States has this concept about spirituality, especially the demonic realm. And if you're a Christian in the United States, then it's very likely that you don't believe that demons are still infesting people or whatever. And I mean, there's some that do, but the majority of mainline evangelicals probably think that was something that happened in Bible days, but not now. Yeah. You travel outside of the United States and you hang out with the Christians, and you'll quickly find out they definitely believe in it. And like, for example, I was in Carriacou, which is a small island off the coast of Grenada. It's where the big drum dance of voodoo was born. It's an extremely dark, demonic feeling island. It's 7 miles long, 1.5 miles wide. It has 5,000 native people that are ancestors of slaves brought there in the late 1600s. Wow. And it's fourth world, not third world. And they have the Cocamara. The Cocamara is the witch that lives on the island, and she does voodoo. And the pastor of this little church where I was there speaking and preaching for a couple of weeks when we were doing a medical mission, he had a cross over the door, and I mentioned it. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's to keep the Cocamara out." So he put the cross up to keep the witch out. Okay, they believe in this kind of stuff, and the witch they believed could put a curse on you. And I remember one day we were driving along in this old van, and we came past her little place where she lived, and she was out squatting in the garden. She's like 90 years old, looked like a skeleton, man, scary looking lady, and she kind of looked up at us. And they were like, "Oh, that's the Cocamara, that's the Cocamara." Well, I got my video camera, and he goes, No, do not show the video camera. So I put it down, and I said, "Why?" And he said, "She thinks that the camera will steal her soul, and she will curse you. You'll be dead in 3 days." The preacher told me that. So see, the Christians in those types of places have seen what happens within the demonic realm. They've seen that actually happen. Go to Africa, and you'll see it all the time. Yeah. Other places in the world as well. And so do I believe that it exists? Yes, but I've traveled the world, and I've been in those places, and I've seen things. Do you see it here in the United States? I think we call a lot of it mental illness. But how do you differentiate? Because mental illness is a real thing. So I have to be very careful how I speak about it.
Sure.
But I would say that probably some of the things that we see that are called schizophrenia or whatever it is, or split personality, that kind of stuff, it very possibly could be that it is actually demon possession.
Wow. Yeah, that's I agree with you. But would you say that's kind of controversial?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have prayed over people that I felt like were demon possessed, and I've prayed exactly as Scripture says to do.
Yeah.
And I always start with me. Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Do you remember that story?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they couldn't cast that one out.
Yeah.
The apostles all tried, and they couldn't. And the Father, is the only one that says, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. And Jesus says, because of that prayer, the demon's going to come out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think that's powerful.
It is.
I have enjoyed when you've delivered your sermons here since we've been here, your stories, but just spending time with you and hearing your stories. You're a man that has been all over the world, and you've seen things that I think many of us have only maybe dreamed about or thought about or read about, that kind of thing. And I think God has put you in such an amazing time for such a time as this to deliver this message. What you have seen, what you have experienced, what you have learned, and through His Word to get to the point of the teaching that you're teaching now in the book that you have written.
Well, I appreciate it. I do believe there is a wisdom and experience that is gained, and yet at the same time, it's got to all be tested on the Word of God. So I first and foremost, I want to spend time in the Word, but at the same time, I want to use my life experience if it is useful to teach people. And I follow that format of entertain in order to educate, in order to inspire. If you can catch somebody's attention with a good story up front, and get them listening, no matter what age they are. And then from there move into the training aspect of the how-to or this or that, and then eventually by the time you're wrapping it up, you're into the, it's all about Jesus, and everything is told with a purpose that leads up so that when they finish, they walk away remembering Jesus, not Jimmy, or Jesus, not the opening story, unless the opening story has everything to do with Jesus. He did the same thing. He taught in parables. And he would teach about a very normal thing that he saw to get the attention of the people, and then make that spiritual application. So I feel like that's what I wanted to do with this book, and hope I achieved it, is to get people's attention with those hunting stories or those outdoor adventures, and then from that start to weave in definitions and start connecting dots to the point that then it becomes a scholarly book, and people are invested in it by that point. And don't get too scholarly, don't get to the point where they get bored and quit reading. You got to keep them hooked, keep them on the line, just like you do a big old fish.
Well, I'm only a quarter of the way through it, and that's what you just said is actually what has been even happening with me. I'm a pretty deep guy when I read, but I can tend to lose focus. And then when it starts getting a little deep, all of a sudden a story comes in and kind of draws me back in. Not that you were necessarily losing me at all, because I'm fascinated by it, but I find myself, but then that story draws me back in. And I know you use a lot of analogy from like a movie or something like that, because that's kind of how your mind works, right? That's what you've done for many, many years. You've done it very, very well. And when you start writing like that, I find myself start putting the reel in my head. I start seeing the imagery. I think that's a gift. I really do. I think that's a gift that God has given you. I didn't recognize that in the past of stuff I've read from you, because I really didn't have the knowledge to know exactly what was happening, but that's probably the same thing was happening at that time. I think I do believe that's a gift. One thing I've enjoyed, not just getting to know you more here at the retreat, one of the things I noticed, and I wanted our viewers to kind of even understand this too. I think some guys might look, if they know of you and know, because many people do, and you've been around for a long time. Doesn't mean you're old, just means you've been around a long time. Long time's relative. It's all relative, depends on who you are. But what I loved watching was so many times we're out here eating dinner or something, and you're sitting down there and you've got a group of teenage boys, or girls too, a couple of them, but many of those teenage boys. And I don't know if we were able to capture it all, and I should have grabbed my camera out and just started filming, because I especially specifically looking at one, I believe it was Cam, and I believe Cam is 13, he looks like he's 17. But he was sitting there across from the table from you, and he was leaning forward, and his mouth was open, and his eyes were like this, and he's just like...
I remember that.
Like this.
And we had some stories going.
And I looked around, every one of those boys were, and that was your storytelling gift that you have. And they were engaged, and so you were capturing them. So then, being who I am, I'm obviously listening to you, but I'm watching other people too, and then those same boys, while you're delivering your message that you're delivering, they're sitting there and they are very engaged, and they're listening to you, and I think it's because you capture them through the stories.
Well, I've always had this, it's a strategy of my own, and that is, if I'm going to go do a speaking engagement, I don't want to be the guy or lady, anybody that flies in, speaks, flies out.
Yeah.
I want to get in there. I want to get to know people. I want to spend time. I want to be the last person to leave.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to anybody all night long unless I literally have to go catch a plane. And
we kind of did that today.
I know we did. No,
we thought it'd be an hour or two, and
I loved
it was what?
I loved
a
this
good
day.
5, 6, 7 hours.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's important to me is I ask people that book me to come in and speak, would you please let me eat early? I didn't ask you this.
Yeah.
I didn't, but I literally
the banquet
have it.
you did.
Yeah,
and
I
you
did.
ate early.
I want to eat early
and you
so
did
that
go.
when everybody else sits down in the room to eat, I can work the room.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I can make it around to a table where there's 8 or 10 people sitting and just pat folks on the back, how you doing? How's the food? How's it going? If you can make that physical connect with that person, look them in the eye and say a word, and then get to the next table within 60 seconds and try to work at least half the room. The more people I can communicate with and have that physical touch with, the better they're going to listen to me when I get up on that stage. And so I feel like that personal connection is really important.
Well,
and it's the same way with these teenagers. If you're going to
yeah.
connect with teenagers, spend time with them, and then they'll listen to you.
Yeah,
You got to have a relationship. And that's what's so cool about CTO. Man, when you guys take them out for a weekend like you're doing and you invest in them and you have that kind of fun, then when you get together at night and have those devotionals around the fire or you have worship on Sunday, you've got them.
Yeah.
And that is such a great strategy for a ministry. You're doing good work.
Everything you just said that's CTO.
Yeah.
So we always say it's not rocket science.
Yep.
We just develop a relationship, take them hunting, fishing, and then you capture them, and then and you tell them about Jesus.
Well, evangelism is relational.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we could just go and hog tie people and take them down and dunk them in the water and baptize them.
Absolutely.
All right, you're a Christian now. Get out of here.
You're done. Yeah, that would be some very intense evangelism. But the discipleship is about relationships too.
Yes.
And that is, I always say now, I would not say CTO is perfect at this, but we've always called ourselves a discipleship ministry. And we say that because we're not a one-time shop. Sometimes we even say a photo shop where we go out on this outing, we kill a big deer, take a picture, we never see that kid again.
Right.
I'm not going to lie to our audience to say that there hasn't been a kid or two that has happened to due to them for whatever reason, circumstances or life or whatever it may be. But we provide multiple opportunities, whether it be a sportsman's night or whether it be for an outing or a summer camp. We want it to be a relationship. Yeah. And then that outfitter and our volunteer guides that are working with us, in many cases, in the middle of the night, we're the ones they're calling.
Yes.
And when there's a death in the family, they're calling us, especially if they're not connected to a church.
That's right.
They're reaching out to us, and then we always try our best to try to get them plugged into a God-fearing church. Right. I do believe it takes an army. It takes a village, so to speak. Yep. It's not just about us to grow these kids into a deeper relationship with Christ, but we just provide those moments and we provide those stories. We call them CTO moments, and we provide that. And that's why when we show pictures and we post things, we do talk about obviously the God side of things, but all those pictures, what people need to understand is that is part of that one time, that one event. That was a moment in that child's life that he will never forget. Right. And then that relationship, that bond that was developed, and like you said, then we're sitting around a campfire, just like this, and we'll capture their attention. And then when they understand, wait a minute, I'm going to see you again. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, there's going to be another hunt, or there's another trip, or I can see you later on this month at a sportsman's night, or wait a minute, there's more than 1 or 2 Kirks out there. Mm-hmm. So there's dozens and hundreds of Kirks out there that want to work with you and do these things for you. Mm-hmm. And I will say that's kind of our feather in our hat. We're not perfect at it, but we work hard at it to try to do that better so we can continue to develop that relationship with them. Yeah. And I do believe we are kindred spirits, for whatever phrase you want to put to it. I noticed that the night of the banquet in February. Mm-hmm. Probably the number one thing that we heard, and the number one thing I noticed from the night of the banquet about you, and I'll say this for people just to understand if they're listening to this and they don't know Jimmy Seitz and who you are, which I know many will, but whenever what I saw was exactly what you said. More people said, he acted like he knew me. and he came to my table and talked to me, and you'd have thought he knew every one of us. And I think, again, that captured them. And I think you got that figured out, but that is part of where we're a kindred spirit, and why when you found out about us, didn't know about Cross Trail Outfitters, and you're looking at us and you're like, man, I love what I'm hearing. I love what I'm seeing. And then when you contacted me, because you said you would, and you said, you know, when I figure out how God might work with us together and what we can do, I'm going to contact you. You know, and to be honest with you, I get that a lot from people, and they don't. That tells me your character, tells me who you are, and you're a man of your word, and you contacted me, and here we are on the mountains of West Virginia for several days together, worshiping God together, listening to the word that God is delivering through you. All the guys and all the ladies here, all the families were loving what they were hearing, and seeing you develop that relationship. Clearly, who you are is who we are. So I'm excited. I don't know what God's going to do, you know. But I know He's going to do something. That's part of what we talked about today. I don't know what it is, but we're going to explore that, and we're going to allow Him to do whatever He wants to do.
Well, I'll put a teaser as we close it out.
There you go.
Here's the teaser. Remember this word: Base Camp 101.
Oh, there you go.
That's it. Base Camp 101.
Base Camp
I have
101.
a feeling. I'm getting a feeling.
I was letting you try to go there because I wasn't going to go there. I love that teaser. Yeah, Base Camp 101.
It's coming down the pike, and it just.
And I have to admit, I got chills today, kind of hearing Base Camp 101, and it got us very, very, very excited.
I think there might be some synergism there.
Yeah.
We'll see what God does.
I'm very excited. Yeah. Well, Jimmy, I know this is just the beginning, and I know we want to. I know what's going to happen. I'm going to have other guys say, "Man, why aren't you asking this?" Or what about this? So I know we're going to get together. This is not our last time. It's not our last podcast. Right. We're going to do some good things together and spread the kingdom and grow the kingdom of God. I'm excited about that. And we are coming to a close of our time together here on the mountain, which is really kind of a bummer. Yeah. But I really think it is fitting. You know, I know I was tired. You know, we're like, man, why should we do this late? And this rejuvenates me. Jennifer will tell I will have trouble sleeping now. So thank you. Now I'll have trouble sleeping because I'll be jazzed up and I'll get wire hopped. I'll almost like have to kind of resettle myself down. But I'm excited about what the Lord's doing through you. I'm excited about Base Camp 101. I'm just excited about our relationship. I'm excited about our relationship with Cross Trail Outfitters and how that will connect, how we can grow the kingdom. I'm excited about CTO as a whole. There's been such unity the last 3 days. I'm so excited about what God is doing. So many people were here. Just the smiles has been so amazing to watch.
It's a great atmosphere.
It's been a great atmosphere, and the Holy Spirit has been here in our worship and our time together. So I do appreciate you, brother.
Man, I appreciate
really
you,
do, man.
You keep up the good work.
It's been good.
Finish strong.
We will definitely finish strong.
One of these days, come work out with me, and I'll teach you how to grow muscles.
Yeah, but you want me to go running with you? I can't keep up with you.
I try to look like Kirk as much as I can, but you know, it's like
we all got our strengths. We all got our strengths.
You got a lot of strengths.
Okay, he didn't tell me to do this, all right, but I'm going to do this, all right. And Jimmy didn't. It's not why we're doing this, but we've been talking about Decoys of Deception. You need to see this, guys. Need to get this. Amazon, right? One best way to do it.
Yeah, Amazon for the book, or you can get either one on jimmysites.com.
Okay, jimmysites.com. Jimmysites.com, or go to Amazon. Check us out. There's a Bible study that goes with it. This is phenomenal, guys. We just provided it for all of our outfitters here, and they're all excited. We're looking at potentially using this as a curriculum, definitely as a resource for our guys to use as we minister to the kids. So check out Decoys of Deception. This is amazing. So I'm excited about that, Jimmy.
Thank you, Kirk.
And until next time, brother, we'll see you around the campfire with Wild Pursuits at Cross Trail Outfitters. Thank you for listening to Wild Pursuits with Cross Trail Outfitters. CTO is a hunting and fishing club with the mission of guiding the next generation to Christ through the outdoors. If you'd like to support us or are interested in getting involved, visit us on our website at teamcto.org. Links are in the description. Make sure to like and share our podcast. And join us next time around the campfire with Wild Pursuits.